Half a millennium had passed since the destruction of Earth. A jewel once vibrant with life and diversity, now just a haunting memory in the annals of space. The Galactic Council, a formidable coalition of interstellar civilizations, had deemed Earth a threat to the cosmic order, orchestrating its annihilation in a spectacle of raw, unleashed power. Humanity, scattered and broken, had been cast into the cosmos, refugees within their own galaxy. As centuries rolled on, the survivors adapted. They forged new lives on distant planets and moons, integrating into alien societies or founding colonies on the fringes of known space. The essence of Earth lived on through their stories, traditions, and the relentless human spirit. Now, after 500 years, humanity was not just surviving, it was thriving. They had advanced technologically and culturally, merging human ingenuity with alien technologies. The establishment of the Human Galactic Coalition marked a new era of human unity and strength. The coalition was not merely a governing body, but a symbol of human resilience and ambition. The story begins on the bridge of the starship Phoenix, orbiting a newly terraformed world, New Terra. Captain Alara Miles, a descendant of Earth refugees, stood before the panoramic view screen, her eyes reflecting the azure blues and verdant greens of the planet below. "Captain, all systems are green for the descent," reported Lieutenant Harrow, her second-in-command, his voice steady yet filled with excitement. New Terra was more than a mission. It was a promise of a new beginning. Alara nodded, her gaze still locked on the planet. "Begin the descent sequence. It's time humanity took back its place among the stars." Her voice carried a weight of command and a trace of unspoken emotion, resonating through the bridge. As Phoenix descended through the atmosphere, fiery trails blazing across the sky, Alara thought of the ancient Earth myths her grandmother used to tell, stories of phoenixes rising from ashes. It felt fitting. Humanity, too, was rising from the ashes of its shattered past. Below, the settlers of New Terra gathered to witness the historic descent. Among them was Dr. Aidan Cole, a leading terraforming scientist, whose innovations had made the planet's transformation possible. His heart raced as he watched the ship cut through the blue sky, a metallic gleam against the backdrop of expansive forests and sprawling oceans. The landing was smooth, a testament to human engineering and determination. As the hatch opened, Alara stepped out, the first to set foot on New Terra. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of alien flora, and the ground beneath her boots was firm. "People of New Terra," Alara began, addressing the crowd through the ship's external speakers. "Today marks not just a new chapter in our history, but a renewal of our spirit and our covenant with the stars. We are not the humans of old Earth. We are pioneers, survivors, and architects of our destiny." Her words stirred a sense of pride and purpose among the settlers. They were no longer remnants of a lost world. They were the architects of a new one. As celebrations commenced, Alara and her crew joined the settlers. There was laughter, music, an amalgamation of human and alien influences, and stories shared under the light of New Terra's twin moons. Yet, amidst the jubilation, a deep space transmission was intercepted by Phoenix's communications array. The message was cryptic, a sequence of coordinates leading into the uncharted regions of the galaxy, accompanied by a single line of text that read, "The legacy of Earth awaits." Alara felt a chill run through her as she read the message. The past was calling them, a link to Earth that had survived the cataclysm. Turning to her crew, she announced, "Prepare Phoenix for departure. Our journey isn't over yet." In the cool dimness of Phoenix's command deck, Alara Miles stared at the cryptic coordinates displayed across the holographic map. These numbers could lead them through uncharted territories, into the veiled corners of the galaxy that few had dared to explore since the diaspora. Her crew, a mix of human and alien experts, gathered around, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the map. "Analysis?" Alara asked, her voice cutting through the thick tension that hung in the air. Talos, a humanoid with the innate ability to calculate stellar trajectories faster than any computer, adjusted the map. "These coordinates point to the Eridani sector. It's a volatile area. Unstable stars, unpredictable gravitational fields, and minimal exploration due to these hazards. Sounds like the perfect place to hide a secret, muttered Kale, the ship's security chief, his eyes narrow. His background in tactical operations made him wary of the unknown. Dr. Aiden Cole, who had joined the expedition to the Eridani sector, added, "If there's something left from Earth out there, it's been waiting a long time in a dangerous place. We need to prepare for environmental extremes and potentially hostile encounters." Ilara considered their options. "We'll proceed with caution. Talos, set a course. Kale, have the armaments checked and ready. Dr. Cole, your expertise on terraforming and alien ecosystems could be invaluable. We might encounter environments or life forms unknown to us." As Phoenix warped through space, the starlight streaked past the viewports in brilliant lines. Inside, the crew readied themselves, checking equipment, reviewing data from space probes, and simulating various scenarios they might face. The mood was a blend of anticipation and anxiety. Days later, Phoenix approached the Eridani sector. The space around them grew chaotic, stars swirling in a dance of gravitational forces. The ship's shields flickered under the strain of cosmic winds. "Shield integrity at 76% and dropping," reported Lyra, the ship's engineer, her voice steady despite the flickering lights. "Keep us steady, Lyra. Everyone, brace for potential anomalies," Ilara commanded, gripping the armrest of her captain's chair. Suddenly, a massive gravitational wave swept across Phoenix, tossing it like a leaf in the wind. The crew struggled to maintain control, their bodies pressed against their seats by the force. When the turbulence subsided, they found themselves in a system dominated by a dark red star, its flickering light casting eerie shadows through the cabin. "There!" Talos pointed to a small planet orbiting the unstable star. "The coordinates lead us here." As they approached the planet, sensors detected an artificial structure on the surface, an impossibility in such an isolated and harsh environment. "We have a structure down there," Ilara announced, peering at the sensor readings. "Looks like it's powered. Could this be what we were meant to find?" Kale looked skeptical. "Or it's a trap. We need to be on guard." Ilara made her decision. "We'll send a recon team. Kale, you're with me. Dr. Cole, stay on board and monitor the environmental data. We might need your expertise once we know more about that facility." The shuttle descended through the planet's thin atmosphere, landing a safe distance from the mysterious structure. Ilara and Kale, equipped with their suits, made their way across the rocky terrain, their steps light under the weak gravity. Reaching the facility, they found it unguarded and entered through a dilapidated airlock. Inside, the air was stale but breathable, an unexpected sign of maintenance. They proceeded cautiously, their lights piercing the darkness. In the central chamber, they found a holographic projector. Activating it, the room filled with light, and a figure appeared, a human in an old-style uniform, its face weathered but recognizable. "Welcome," the hologram began, its voice echoing slightly. "If you're hearing this, then humanity has not forgotten its roots, nor its resolve to reclaim its rightful place." Back on the Phoenix, as the shuttle docked, the airlock hissed open, and Ilara stepped through with a solemn grace, carrying with her the weight of the recovered relics and data. The crew gathered around, eyes wide in anticipation of the treasures from a forgotten Earth. Each artifact, each bite of data, was a piece of history, a connection to a home they never knew. "Let's get everything to the lab," Ilara instructed. "We need to analyze these items with care. They're not just relics. They're the keys to our past." Dr. Cole, intrigued by the potential scientific discoveries, took charge of cataloging the digital archives. Meanwhile, Kale ensured the physical security of the artifacts, wary of any potential threats that could still lurk in the shadows of space. As the days passed, the data began to reveal its secrets. They contained detailed accounts of Earth's final days, plans for potential resettlements, and even communications with other human colonies that had been thought lost. Dr. Cole was particularly drawn to a series of encrypted files that seemed to outline experimental technologies. "These could be advancements in terraforming or maybe something else," Cole murmured as he worked to crack the encryption. "Whatever it is, It was important enough to lock away with multiple layers of security. Meanwhile, in the makeshift museum they had set up, Alara and other crew members examined the physical items. Among them were personal effects, photographs, journals, even children's toys. Each object told a story of daily life, of people who had once hoped and dreamed under the canopy of Earth's sky. In the midst of their exploration, a sudden alert sounded. The ship's sensors had detected an incoming vessel. It was unmarked, unknown, and heading straight for them. "Battle stations," Alara commanded, her voice echoing through the corridors. "Kale, with me. Let's find out if they're friends or foes." The crew scrambled, taking positions as the unknown ship drew nearer. It was sleek, dark, and silent, a ghost ship appearing from the void. "Open a channel," Alara said, standing firm on the bridge. "This is Captain Alara Miles of the Phoenix. Identify yourself and state your intentions." There was a long pause, a silence that seemed to stretch into infinity. Then a crackled response came through. "This is Captain Jared Vell of the vessel Sovereign. We mean no harm. We are also descendants of Earth, searching for our past." Alara exchanged a skeptical look with Kale. Trust was a luxury in the cosmos. "We invite you to dock with Phoenix," Alara replied, maintaining a cautious tone. "We'll meet face to face and discuss our mutual interests." As the Sovereign docked, Alara and her team prepared to greet Captain Vell and his crew. The airlock doors opened, revealing a group of humans who looked worn but determined, their eyes bright with the same mix of hope and caution. Captain Vell stepped forward, his hand extended in a gesture of peace. "We've been tracking signals from this sector and stumbled upon your discovery. We're here to learn, to share what we know, and perhaps to rebuild what was lost together." Alara shook his hand, feeling the firm grip of alliance forming. "Welcome aboard, Captain. Let's share our stories and see where this leads us." The meeting unfolded with the exchange of data, stories, and plans. Captain Vell's crew had been exploring another part of the galaxy, uncovering different pieces of the human legacy. As the discussions deepened, the leaders realized they were piecing together a more comprehensive picture of humanity's dispersion across the stars. A network of lost tribes, each holding onto pieces of a larger puzzle. Together, they planned their next steps, focusing on connecting with other remnants of humanity and reconstructing a shared history from the scattered shards of their collective past. The alliance between Phoenix and Sovereign was just the beginning of a larger reunion. As the crews worked together, merging their findings and technologies, a new hope blossomed aboard the Phoenix. In the ensuing weeks, the union of Phoenix and Sovereign ignited a beacon of cooperation. Guided by the maps and data recovered from the Earth Archive, they set a course towards the Rigel system, where ancient signals hinted at a colony that might have survived the ravages of time and isolation. Alara and Captain Vell stood together at the helm, their combined crews mingling behind them, each member eager to contribute to the mission. The air was thick with anticipation and a collective resolve to rebuild the threads of human connectivity across the galaxy. According to the archives, this colony was experimental, a kind of prototype for sustainable living under extreme conditions, Dr. Cole explained, poring over the data with the team's scientists. If they've survived, their adaptations could prove vital for future human settlements. As Phoenix and Sovereign approached the Rigel system, the remnants of defense satellites and other space debris became evident, a silent testament to past struggles and perhaps a present that teetered on the brink of oblivion. The planets of the Rigel system revealed themselves, a chain of worlds each bearing different marks of habitation and abandonment. The third planet, lush and verdant from orbit, held the promise of life. "We're picking up faint energy signatures from the surface, similar to those used in early colony habitats," reported Lyra, adjusting the ship's sensors to penetrate the planet's dense atmospheric layers. Alara ordered the crew to prepare for landing. "Let's be ready for anything. Life support, medical, defense, check and double-check everything." The descent was turbulent, the atmosphere thicker and more volatile than they had anticipated. As they broke through the cloud cover, the sprawling remnants of a colony came into view. Dome structures, overgrown with local vegetation but intact. The landing party, equipped with protective gear, stepped onto the surface. The air was humid and filled with the sounds of alien wildlife, a stark contrast to the silence of space they had traversed to get here. Moving cautiously through the overgrowth, they reached the main habitat. The door was sealed, but not locked, a sign that whoever left in haste or did not fear return. Inside, the habitat was a time capsule. Tables were set, screens displayed paused data, and a child's toy lay on the floor, as if just dropped. It was a ghost colony, preserved in mid-motion. Kale led a team deeper into the habitat, finding a central data hub still partially powered. "I think I can get this running," he said, connecting portable power units. The screens flickered to life, displaying logs and records. The colony had been thriving until about a century ago when a sudden and mysterious plague had forced evacuation. Only a few entries mentioned a rendezvous point, a potential clue to where they might have gone. "We need to follow this lead," Alara decided. "If any of them survived, they could be out there waiting for rescue or too afraid to return." The crews returned to their ships, minds racing with the possibilities of what lay ahead. The coordinates from the logs led to a nearby asteroid belt, a place where a desperate colony might seek refuge from a contagion they could not control. Navigating the belt was a challenge. The asteroids were densely packed and moved in unpredictable orbits. Talos took the helm, his reflexes in sync with the ship's sensors, weaving a path through the hazardous terrain. Deep within the belt, they discovered a hollowed-out asteroid, its interior carved out by human hands, a makeshift sanctuary against the plague they had fled. Ilara and Vel led the teams inside, their lights cutting through the darkness of the asteroid's caverns. What they found was beyond expectations. A thriving mini-colony, alive but completely isolated, descendants of the original refugees, living in a bubble of recycled air and engineered ecosystems. "Who are you?" asked a cautious yet bold young woman stepping forward, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and wonder. "We're from Earth, or what's left of it," Alara responded gently. "We're here to reconnect, to rebuild what we've all lost." Tears, smiles, and laughter filled the asteroid as stories were exchanged, and a new chapter of human resilience and unity was written deep in the heart of space. With the asteroid colony now linked with Phoenix and Sovereign, a new network of human alliances began to form. The people of the asteroid, having adapted to their secluded existence, shared their advanced recycling technologies and closed-system agriculture, vital knowledge for survival in space. Back on the ships, Alara and Vel convened a council to integrate these new members and plan future ventures. The council became a melting pot of ideas, with representatives from each human enclave they had encountered contributing their unique perspectives and resources. "The next logical step is to establish a communication network," suggested Dr. Cole, pointing to a star map dotted with potential human outposts. "We need a way to share information, to warn of dangers, and to aid each other across these vast distances." The teams set to work, deploying a series of satellites into strategic positions, creating a web of signals that could relay messages across light years in moments. This network, the Human Galactic Link, became the first sign of a unified human presence in the galaxy since the fall of Earth. Meanwhile, Alara received an encrypted transmission from an unknown source, traced back to the edge of the Orion Nebula. The message was succinct: "The Council watches. Beware." The warning was chilling, its implications severe. The Galactic Council that had once decreed Earth's destruction was still vigilant, perhaps viewing the burgeoning human network as a burgeoning threat. "Let's not jump to conclusions," Vel cautioned, reviewing the message. "This could be a faction within the Council, not the whole. We need more information before we act." Ilara agreed, and they decided to send a covert mission to the Orion Nebula. Talos, with his adept piloting skills, led the mission, accompanied by a small team. They traveled in a stealth-modified scout ship, aiming to gather intelligence and uncover the intent behind the cryptic warning. As Talos's team approached the nebula, they encountered a patrol of Council ships. Using the scout ship's advanced cloaking technology, they managed to avoid detection and continued toward the coordinates from where the transmission had originated. Deep within the nebula, they discovered a hidden outpost. bristling with antennas and sensors, a surveillance hub monitoring human activities. Using the outpost's own communication array, they managed to intercept transmissions. The messages revealed a divided council, with some members advocating for renewed hostilities against humanity, while others pushed for peaceful observation, intrigued by humans' resilience and rapid development. Armed with this knowledge, Talos and his team returned to Phoenix and Sovereign. The revelations from the nebula shaped their next actions. "We need to show the Council that we're not a threat, but a potential ally," Ilara proposed. "Let's invite them to a summit. We'll share our advances, show them our culture of cooperation. Maybe we can bring about a change in their perception." The idea was ambitious and fraught with risk, but it was a chance to secure a peaceful future. Preparations began with every member of the human network contributing. The proposed summit would be held on a neutral planet, ideally situated at the crossroads of several major space routes, a place where the politics of the galaxy converged. Ilara and Vel worked tirelessly, drafting invitations, planning the summit's logistics, and communicating their peaceful intentions to every council race. They highlighted the benefits of cooperation, technological exchange, mutual protection, and economic partnerships. As the date of the summit approached, delegates from various council species started to arrive. The atmosphere was tense, but hopeful. Humanity's leaders, once refugees scattered across the stars, now stood united, ready to redefine their place in the cosmos. The summit opened with the summit on the neutral planet unfolded into a historic event, with the air charged with the potential for monumental change. The once suspicious and reticent members of the Galactic Council were now engaged in earnest discussions with human representatives. The transformation was palpable, as old grievances gave way to new understandings and mutual respect. Dr. Cole showcased the latest human advancements in terraforming technology, demonstrating how these could aid in rejuvenating barren council worlds. His presentation was met with keen interest, particularly from civilizations struggling to maintain their own planet's ecosystems. Meanwhile, Kale and his security team conducted joint training sessions with council forces, sharing tactics and strategies that emphasized defense over aggression. These sessions not only served as a bridge for military cooperation but also built trust, a foundation upon which lasting peace could be constructed. As the summit continued, cultural exchanges took place. Human art, music, and literature were shared, revealing the depth and resilience of the human spirit. These expressions resonated with many council species, who found parallels in their own cultures, furthering a sense of kinship. Talos, who had been instrumental in uncovering the Council's surveillance activities, now worked closely with them to establish a galaxy-wide alert system for stellar phenomena and potential threats, turning old tools of espionage into new instruments of mutual safety. In the final days of the summit, Ilara took to the stage once more. She spoke not just as a leader, but as a representative of Earth's legacy, her voice carrying the weight of history and the hope of the future. "We come from a world lost to time and fear," she began, her eyes scanning the audience of diverse beings. "Our journey has been fraught with challenges and marked by discovery. Today we stand before you as equals, seeking not dominance but partnership. Together we can build a galaxy where the next generation will not know of worlds destroyed by fear, but of worlds united in purpose." Her speech was met with applause, a sound that echoed through the halls of the summit venue, carrying with it the promise of a new era. The closing ceremony of the summit was a vibrant affair, with flags of many worlds, including the new flag of humanity, waving side by side. A treaty was signed, known as the Unity Accord, establishing a framework for cooperation among the stars. As the delegates prepared to leave, new alliances having been formed, Captain Vel approached Ilara, his expression one of relief and optimism. "We've done something remarkable, Ilara," he said, clasping her hand. "We've changed the course of history today." Ilara nodded, her eyes reflecting the starlight from the vast windows of the summit hall. "Yes, we've laid the groundwork, but the real work starts now. Maintaining peace, growing our partnerships, ensuring we honor the promises made today." With the summit concluded, the Phoenix and Sovereign prepared to depart, The ships, once symbols of human survival and isolation, were now beacons of hope and diplomacy. As they navigated away from the summit, their course set toward the next adventure, the crews were not just crews of ships. They were ambassadors of a united human race, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy held together. And so, amidst the infinite tapestry of stars, humanity's new chapter began, a testament to their undying spirit and unyielding determination to forge a place for themselves in the cosmic community. The stars, once mere points of light, were now destinations, opportunities and promises of a future written not in isolation, but in unity.